with a taste as smooth as its name. By Delta Airlines, serving more than 100 cities in the U.S. and overseas. Delta gets you there. By your Toyota dealer and the luxurious all-new 1985 Cressida. Indulge yourself with the works. By Canon, quality cameras and photographic equipment. So advanced, Canon is the world's leader in 35mm photography. By CNN, the world's most important network. And by Headline News, around the world every 30 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Along with John Sterling, this is Pete Van Weren, welcoming you to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where tonight the Atlanta Braves and Los Angeles Dodgers meet in a twilight doubleheader. One of these games to make up one of the contests missed in early August because of the players' strike. The Braves, of course, have been having their problems all season long. The Dodgers are driving toward a division title in the National League West. And for the Braves, John, some more bad news today.
Oh, it's unbelievable. The pitching staff has been racked up by injuries all year long. On the last road trip, Rick Mailer slid into a base, and apparently he fractured the little finger on his right hand. He has a cast. He's out of the rotation. His chances for winning 20 seem to be in jeopardy. He needs 3 more wins. Craig McMurtry will take Rick's place in the rotation, and it's just bad news for Rick Mailer and continued bad news for the Braves. You know, as the old saying goes, that the Braves didn't have any bad luck. They wouldn't have any luck at all.
Well, one guy that has had very little bad luck throughout his career is Pete Rose. He'll be trying to break Ty Cobb's all-time hit record tonight. And when that happens, we'll be showing you that also right here on our broadcast. Back with the starting lineups and all the action of Game 1 right after this.
Just minutes before the big twilight doubleheader about to begin, let's check the lineups for the two teams in game number 1. And first of all, for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who is, you see, are 79-55 and leads second place Cincinnati by 8 games in the National League West. Mariano Duncan leads off at shortstop. Kenny Landreau bats second in center field. Mike Marshall hits third in right field. Greg Brock at first base batting fourth. Bill Madlock hits fifth at third base. Batting sixth, the Braves killer this year, Mike Scioscia behind the plate. Batting seventh and playing left field in place of the slightly injured Pedro Guerrero. They give him another night off. Len Matuzak will be in left field batting seventh. Steve Sachs hitting eighth at second base, and pitching and batting ninth will be the curveball throwing left-hander Rick Honeycutt. Honeycutt 7-12 on the year. Pretty good ERA, 3.53. He's 1-1 this year and 1-3 lifetime against the Braves. Now for Bobby Wine's ball club. 8-6 under Bobby since he became manager. 58-77 overall. And the Braves 21.5 games behind Los Angeles. Rafael Ramirez rested last night. Returns to the lineup at shortstop. Glenn Hubbard bats second at second base. Dale Murphy hits third in center field. And Bob Horner bats fourth at first base. Bob has missed a few games with a severe cold. He feels much better in the lineup tonight. Terry Harper hits fifth in left field. Ken Oberkfell at third base, batting sixth. Hitting seventh, the right fielder Brad Cummins. Batting eighth behind the plate, Bruce Benedict. And pitching and batting ninth, Pascual Perez. And Perez has had a nightmare of a season. He's been on the disabled list no fewer than 3 times. His record 1-9, his ERA 5.97, 0-0 this year, and lifetime 4-4 against Los Angeles. And in Perez's last start, he pitched a very good ball game. He went 5 innings in his last start, and he threw the ball probably better than he's thrown all year long. He says his shoulder is fine, and Perez, hopefully, will become the hard-throwing right-hander and the winning right-hander that he was in years past. The umpires. At home plate, Bruce Frumming. At first base, Bob Davidson. At second base, John Kibler. At third base, Dick Stello. You see how the Braves line up defensively in the first of the 2 games. Rookie shortstop Mariano Duncan, one of the more valuable players on the Dodger team because he filled a huge hole at shortstop this year after the first 30 or 40 games or so, and he has been a very good player for Los Angeles. He leads off against Perez, and leading off the broadcast, once again, here's Pete.
Thank you, John. Duncan at .239 for the year with 5 homers, 24 RBIs. Been in a little bit of a slump lately, only 4 hits in his last 45 at-bats. Making the jump from Double-A ball to the major leagues this year. And he awaits the first pitch from Pascual Perez. It's on the way. 1 ball, no strikes. Duncan in last night's ball game had 2 hits in 5 at-bats. Takes another fastball, low and inside, 2-0. This is meeting number 13 between the Braves and Dodgers on the year. Dodgers have won 9, Braves 3. And it's now 3-0 on Mariano Duncan. Now the 3-0 pitch, taken inside, ball 4. So Perez walks Duncan to open the ball game. Bring up center fielder Ken Landreau. He's also been in a slump. Hitless in his last 18 at-bats. His average for the year now at 265 with 10 homers, 39 RBIs. He takes a strike in the inside corner. Baltimore-Boston underway. No score at the end of an inning. That is the first of a doubleheader. They were rained out at Fenway last night. All the other games start later. Now the look toward first. And time called. Another very warm night here in Atlanta. Temperature probably around 80 degrees as this twin bow gets underway. A little bit of a breeze blowing out toward right. 1 ball, 1 strike now on Landreau. Well, if you followed the Braves all year, you know what kind of a disappointment Pascual Perez has been to the ball club this year. He was 14-8 last year, 15-8 the year before. He's 1-9 entering this game. Nobody out. Duncan, the runner at first. Duncan, along with Steve Sachs of the Dodgers, tied for the club lead in steals with 24. And it's now 2-1 on Landreau. Big series tonight at Shea Stadium between the Cardinals and the Mets. They're tied for first in the National League East. Another big series going on in the American League, Kansas City at California. Kansas City a half game up after California beat them last night. And Toronto's a game and a half up on the Yankees. Toronto playing at home tonight against Detroit. The Yankees will be on the road at Milwaukee. The 2-1 delivery, and Landreau drills it by short into left field. Base hit. Duncan will stop at second. That ends an 0 for 18 skid for Ken Landreau. And the Dodgers threatening now. Runners at first and second with nobody out. Mike Marshall stepping in.
But if anything's been puzzling about Perez, here's a guy who had not good control. He had, I guess, phenomenal control in the past couple of years as a big winner in the National League. And Pete, not only hasn't he thrown the ball hard this year, but he hasn't been able to get the ball over the plate. And he gets behind and then grooves one and gets in deep trouble.
And his walks and strikeouts almost even for the year. 40 walks now and 42 strikeouts. And the ratio in past years has been about 3-to-1 strikeouts. Marshall batting .280 with 20 homers and 67 RBIs. He's been a hot hitter. He's hit safely in 5 straight. And he takes inside, ball 1. Marshall had a big night here last night, driving in 4 runs with a 2-run homer and a 2-run single. There's the 1-0 to Marshall. It's drilled to right center field. Comments battling that sun out there. He'll make the catch, and the runners will hold. Good throw by Comments toward third. Going to be a little tricky in right field and right center field for the first few innings of this first game. That sun glaring right into the eyes of the right fielder at this moment. One away, runners at first and second. Greg Brock, the batter. Brock at 253 with 18 homers, 53 runs driven in. Dodgers with the most comfortable lead of any division leader. They have an 8-game bulge over Cincinnati. San Diego now 10 games back. Houston almost is caught up with San Diego. They're only 13.5 out, 3.5 behind the Padres. Brock takes a strike, 0-1. Brock out of the University of Wyoming. Dodgers were very patient with him. He did not immediately arrive from the minor leagues and begin to hit, but the Dodgers stayed with him. And this year he's enjoying his best major league season. Here's the 0-1. And it's even now, 1-1. Baseball being looked at by plate umpire Bruce Fromig. 2 games with the Dodgers tonight, another one tomorrow night, another one Thursday night. A long 5-game series before the Dodgers move on and the Giants come to Atlanta. The runners, Ken Landreau at first, Mariano Duncan at second. Perez ready now for his 1-1. Missing low, 2-1. Pascual Perez did not play winter ball last year for the first time in his career. He feels that may have hurt him this year, and he plans to play a full winter season in the Dominican this year. Here's the 2-1 pitch. The changeup is drilled foul down the right side. And it's even now, 2-2 on Greg Brock. Played the pull by the outfield. Infield, a double play depth. Here's the 2-2 to Brock. A little chopper toward short. Should be 2. Ramirez, Hubbard on the Horner. Double play, inning over. So Perez got into some early trouble, but pitches his way out of it. Has that familiar double play combination. Strikes again. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. At the end of a half inning in game 1, no score. In the bottom half of the first inning, you take a look at the Dodger defense for this first game. Len Matuszak in left field in place of Pedro Guerrero, who has a hand injury. Not a real serious injury, but they're giving him a couple games off. And on the mound tonight for Los Angeles, left-hander Rick Honeycutt. He's 7-12 with a 3.53 earned run average. Lifetime 1-3 against Atlanta. He's one of the few Dodger starters that has not put together an outstanding season this year, making his 22nd start of the year. He's actually become the 5th starter in the Dodger rotation behind Valenzuela, Welch, Hershiser, and Royce. And he'll be facing the top of the order, Rafael Ramirez, Glenn Hubbard, and Dale Murphy. The Cincinnati Reds game will be getting underway at about 7:35 Eastern time. That's about an hour and 40 minutes from now. They're at home tonight against San Diego. Pete Rose is expected to start in that game. And we'll be able to cut live to Cincinnati for coverage of every Pete Rose at bat, and we'll do that throughout the evening as he attempts to break Ty Cobb's record. Rafael Ramirez batting .257, 4 homers, 54 RBIs. In a dreadful slump, 1 for his last 24. Takes a strike, 1-1. He didn't start the game last night. Bobby Wine felt he may just be wearing down a bit. Here's the 1-1. 2-1. Ramirez followed by Hubbard, then Murphy. Here's the 2-1 pitch, bouncing ball up the middle. Second baseman Sachs had him played over near the bag. And Ramirez cut down for out number 1. Now the second baseman, Glenn Hubbard, who brings a 5-game hitting streak into this one. 7 hits in his last 17 at-bats. His average, which was down into the teens, now back to 229. 5 homers, 35 RBIs. Still some disappointing numbers for Glenn for this time of the year. Nothing and 1 the count. And the 0-1 pitch. Honeycutt with a sinker, slider, pretty good curve ball. Has a screwgee that he throws from time to time. And the 0-2 pitch coming. Just missed. Now the 1-2 on the way, and that missed the outside corner. 2-2. Tommy Lasorda, who bleeds Dodger blue. Full count, 3-2. A lot of rumors been floating around all year that Tommy Lasorda may be moving into a front office position. If not next year, maybe the year after. And if that happens, even more rumors about who would replace him as manager, and that would not be an easy job if Tommy moves upstairs in the Dodger organization. He's been a very successful manager. And 2, the count on Glenn Hubbard. Here's the payoff pitch from Honeycutt. He walked him. So Hubbard aboard with 1 down. Dale Murphy steps in.
I think when you're successful at something, if you enjoy it, you ought to keep doing it. I don't know if Tommy Lasorda would enjoy not being in a uniform and not managing games, and he's a terrific manager. I mean, his team has excelled in just about every year.
And, you know, there is a great deal of satisfaction of being the guiding hand behind a ball club as a general manager, but I don't know if Tommy wouldn't miss the roar of the crowd a little bit too much.
I think he would. I think he would. I think he ought to stay right there as manager.
Murphy, 291, 34 homers, 93 RBIs.
Every year they rumor that Al Arbor of the Islanders might move up to the front office, but I mean, he's such a great coach. That's what he should be doing. He should be coaching. He's absolutely brilliant at it. Bud Grant returned after a year. I bet he missed it. And boy, look at what he did in his first game back. That's just my own opinion. But
Honeycutt ready for the 1-0. And it missed low and inside, 2-0. I'll tell you what, if Tommy Lasorda does decide to move to a front office position, I do not envy whoever has to replace him. He has been such a popular manager with the fans, with the players, with the media. Here's the 2-0, and the breaking ball caught the inside corner, 2-1.
And also the demands, too. In Los Angeles, you get to the ballpark 2.5 hours before the game on the team bus. Walk out on the field. Dodgers taking batting practice, and there are 18 television crews set up, and Tommy Lasorda visits every one, and he loves it. He loves doing that, just like Pete Rose loves doing that.
Throw goes to first. Hubbard back safely. Hubbard not really a base-stealing threat. He has 4 this year, but he's also been caught 3 times. We are scoreless in the bottom of the first of game 1. Deep short, Duncan going to second for 1. Let's see if Sachs can turn it. He can. That was a pretty good double play. 6-4-3 twin killing ends it. Double plays on both sides in the first inning. No score from Atlanta after 1.
Before we go any further, one of the leading hairstylists, makeup stylists around town, Barbara Jobberly, is celebrating a very big birthday. She's the hairstylist to such beautiful women as Dee Woods and Liz Wickersham. And she told me once when I was in her chair, John, it's too bad you're so ugly I can't help you. Anyway, Barbara's celebrating her 60th. What was that? Oh, her 30th birthday today, so happy birthday to her.
This is Bill Madlock taking a strike. 0-1.
She can't wait to get a crack at your hair, Pete. She says it will be probably the most exciting 30 seconds of her career.
Into right center field, Bill Madlock's got himself a base hit. Hit number 2 off of Pascual Perez. Yeah, me going to a hairstylist, I mean, it's like taking the car in for the annual checkup. You know, you go in once a year.
I won't say anything if you do, but I think the kangaroo court will find out about it. They find people like you for using shampoo, as you know, so.
Here's the catcher, Mike Sosha, who got the average up to an even 300 last night. He had a perfect night. 2 singles, a home run. He walked, and he also reached on catcher's interference. 1 ball, no strikes.
You know, we both mentioned at the same time when that deal went through that Bill Madlock was going to go over to Los Angeles and really start hitting. And you know what? He really has started hitting.
He's hitting over 400 since joining the Dodgers. He's on at first now. And there's another base hit for Mike Sosha. He's just unbelievable against Atlanta. Madlock now heads for third. Good job of base running there by Madlock. He's slowed down at second base. And as soon as Brad Cummins cut loose the throw, Madlock took off, made it to third.
And you see that guy there, Mike Sosha? He ought to pay to hit in this ballpark. Mike Sosha, for the year, is now hitting .500 against the Braves. He came in hitting .486. Now, he just walks around with a big smile on his face once he enters this ballpark. That is mind-boggling that a guy could hit that much and play every game against a certain team.
Len Matuszak playing left field in place of the injured Pedro Guerrero. He's hitting .229, no homers and 5 RBIs. And he takes inside ball 1. Well, Perez got out of a first and second nobody out situation in the first inning. A little tougher here. First and third, nobody out. In foul territory, Cummins gives it a chase, but it'll drop into the picnic area out of play. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Another slim crowd tonight. Looks like we have maybe a few more here than we had last night. September is a tough time to draw, folks, if you're not in the race. And that is not true only in Atlanta. It's true anywhere in the major leagues or in the minor leagues, for that matter. If you're not winning, if you're out of the race by September, you play before only the most ardent baseball fans. A lot of the folks here tonight are out here just about every night. Here's the 1-1. 2-1. Madlock at third. Mike Sosha, the runner at first. Nobody out. Two-one pitch coming. He tried to check it, went around, 2-2. Matuszak came over from Toronto about midway through the season in the Al Oliver deal. He was hitting only .212 at Toronto, originally in the Phillies organization. Struck him out. Breaking ball down around his ankles. Perez picks the right time to record his first strikeout. 1 away.
It was a good breaking ball by Perez, down and in, right at his shoe tops, and Matuszak couldn't stop.
So Steve Sachs will step in. Runners remain at first and third with one down now. The infield at double play depth. Third baseman Ken Oberkfell will play in. Ball hit to him. He might have a play at the plate if Madlock breaks. Sachs average steadily climbing after a very slow start this year. The count. No score, top of the second. Dodgers threatening with runners at the corners and one down. And it goes to 2-0 now on Sachs. Again against Steve Sachs. Perez falling behind. That's a difficult way to pitch. Madlock and Scioscia get their leads. 2-0 pitch on the way. Missed outside. 3-0. The pitcher, Rick Honeycutt, on deck. The 3-0 pitch is taken high, ball 4. That'll load the bases for the Dodger pitcher. Walk number 2 issued by Perez. And here's the pitcher, Rick Honeycutt, who's not much of a hitter with an .097 batting average, no homers or RBIs. But his background indicates he should be a better hitter than that. He was an All-American as a first baseman and designated hitter in college. Third baseman Oberkfell stays in. The rest of the infield double play depth. Didn't get the breaking ball. 0-1. Honeycutt from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And the University of Tennessee. Lines one into center field. That's a base hit. 1 run will score. That's it. Murphy's throw back to the infield quickly. But the Dodgers are on the board as Rick Honeycutt drives in his first run of the year. Scioscia moves to third, Sachs to second. And Honeycutt now the runner at first. That's the 4th Dodger hit of the game. Mariano Duncan will be the hitter.
Now we take a look at it. He missed with a curveball, came back with another curveball, and Honeycutt went out and got it. Lined it to center field.
So the Dodgers jump on top in this first game, and they threaten to do some more damage here in the second. Base is still loaded, still only 1 out. Mariano Duncan, the hitter, he walked his first time up, and he wants a meeting with third base coach Joey Amalfitano to make sure of the signs. Jeff Dedman getting up in the Atlanta bullpen. I can't imagine what sign he'd be looking for in this situation.
Isn't that funny, Pete? I can't either. Last night, we kidded about it. There were more meetings here than you'll ever see in the United Nations General Assembly. Duncan will not be bunting here because the runner at third base is very slow, Mike Scioscia. So that's the only sign I could think of is if they wanted to put a squeeze on, but that's very doubtful.
Fastball high and away, ball 1. Perez digging a deep hole early for himself here.
You see, that's what's happening with Perez. He's not getting the first pitch over. He's pitching from behind all the time.
1 ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-1 on the way. And that missed inside. 2-1. Scioscia is the runner at third. Steve Sachs, the runner at second. Rick Honeycutt, who has just driven in his first run of the year, on at first. And Mariano Duncan awaiting the 2-1 pitch. Here it comes. That's going to be another base hit. 1 run is in. They're going to wave Steve Sachs. Here comes the throw by Terry Harper. Sachs in there safely. 2 runs have scored. And the Dodgers take a 3-0 lead. RBIs number 25 and 26 for Mariano Duncan.
You know, there's a great bit of third base coaching by Joey Amalfitano. Again, Perez behind, has to come in with a fastball. High outside, Duncan goes the opposite way. Harper has a terrific arm. Sachs almost held up, and Amalfitano waved him on, and Terry's throw was a little bit off the plate. There's Joey. Normally, Terry Harper nails that guy at the plate. I was very surprised that they sent Sachs. I wouldn't have, with 1 out. But Amalfitano did, and the run scored, and the Dodgers have a 3-0 lead, and Perez, frankly, you have to be honest about it. Perez pitching the way he has pitched all year long without a lot of pop on his fastball and pitching from behind. Leo Mazzoni talking to him. They'll give Perez another batter or 2, but his Waterloo coming up right here with Landreau and then Mike Marshall, and if he doesn't get him out, I think you'll see Jeff Dedman.
Dodgers now with 5 hits in the game. They've scored 3 runs. Perez has walked 2. He's recorded 1 strikeout. And one of the base hits came off the bat of this man, Ken Landreau, broke an 0-for-18 slump with a first-inning single. Honeycutt now down at second, Duncan at first, still only 1 out in the inning. They can get the breaking ball 0-1. And the Dodgers driving to become the first team to assure themselves of postseason play. And to be quite honest, the Dodgers would really have to fall apart in this final month to blow an 8-game lead. It's happened before, but you really have to play badly.
Yeah, and when it happens to teams that rely on 1 or 2 pitchers or so. But the Dodgers have so many great starters on this team. Mike Marshall was talking about that. He said, gee, if we do anything at all, our starters will win the game for you. They pitch so brilliantly all the time.
Here's the 1-1, fouled away, 1-2. It's going to be a little bit interesting this year, as for the first time the playoffs will not be a best 3 out of 5. They'll be a best 4 out of 7. You manage a little differently in a longer series, set up your pitching a little differently. Now the 1-2 pitch to Landreau. Bouncing ball, sharply hit, knocked down by Hubbard. There's an out at second base the hard way. Hubbard got a glove on it. It caromed off the glove toward the bag, and Rafael Ramirez picked it up. It'll go in the books as a 4-6 force play.
The Braves very fortunate, and Glenn Hubbard makes another terrific play. He just dives at the ball to try to keep it in the infield, and the ball caroms over to Rafael Ramirez. And the Braves and Pascual Perez very fortunate on that, and that could have been up the middle for another base hit.
So now the runners are at first and third with 2 outs, and here's Mike Marshall, who flied to right his first time. 3 runs have scored here in the top of the second. The count on Marshall. Baltimore-Boston still scoreless after 2 in the first of their doubleheader. Here's the 1-0. Almost hit him again, 2-0. There have only been about 2 hitters in this entire ball game that Perez has gotten ahead of.
What's amazing for us who watch Perez pitch every game as a Brave, his control in the other years wasn't even good. It was just outstanding. You just knew he could throw a strike whenever he wanted to. In fact, I'm going to look that up.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Check swing foul off the screen, makes it 2-1.
In his last 2 years, Perez struck out 144 and walked 51, and 145 and walked 51. Is that amazing? And he had pitched over 200 innings. 1 year 215, the other 211.
It's an average of about 2 walks every 9 innings, and this year he's averaging about 6 walks every 9 innings. Here's the 2-1. He's in danger of losing Marshall. 3-1. Pitcher Rick Honeycutt, the runner at third. And Ken Landreau at first with 2 outs. 3 runs in. And the 3-1 pitch on the way. Driven down that right field line. It is slicing, however, and it's a foul ball up into the seats. That's where Marshall's power is. He hits almost everything that he hits with power to either right or right center field. That fills the count 3-2. Landreau will return to first. He'll be taking off momentarily on the 3-2 pitch. Jeff Dedman ready if needed in the Atlanta bullpen. There goes Landreau, and the 3-2 missed. That loads the bases. And that brings Bobby Wine out of the Atlanta dugout. That's the end of the night for Pascual Perez. Third walk issued by Perez, whose season remains a mystery. So he'll be lifted after working only 1 2/3 innings. He has given up 5 hits. 3 runs to this point. The other runners all belong to him, all 3 of them. He walked 3, and he struck out 1. And the darling of Atlanta fans of the last 2 years. Now here's a different side from the crowd. Jeff Dedman coming on. He'll be facing Greg Brock with the bases loaded. Right after this. Jeff Dedman making his 50th appearance out of the Braves bullpen this year. There you see his record. From time to time, Dedman has a control problem. If he has his good control, he's usually effective. When his control is off, that's when he has his problems. And he's got a chance here, pitching in long relief, which he very seldom does. Usually he's used, let's say from the 6th inning on in a ball game. But if he can get out of this inning with no more run scoring, he's got a chance to give the Braves some time to come back and tie this one up, maybe take the lead, pick up a win. Bobby Wine, the Braves manager, looking on from the dugout, is pitching. Has been a problem the last couple of games. And in case you just joined us, the news on Rick Mailer. He goes right along with a lot of other things that seem to be happening this season. Rick injured the little finger on his pitching hand while sliding in St. Louis over the weekend. Had it x-rayed out there. Those x-rays looked okay. Came back. It was still bothering him here in Atlanta. Had it x-rayed again. They found a break. He's in a cast all the way up to his elbow. And his bid to become a 20-game winner is very much in jeopardy. He'll miss at least 7 days, probably more like 10. Here's Greg Brock, went into a double play his first time. There's a chopper hit toward second. Took a bad hop over Hubbard's head, and 2 runs will score. When you're hot, and when you're not, you're down 5-0.
And last night we saw some more than funny bounces. There's another one. I don't want to indict the field, but probably that's a result of the football game here on Sunday. There was one ball last night without question hit a football hole. Glenn Hubbard comes up, and that hits that hard ground, baked by the Georgia sun, and goes way over his head.
RBIs number 54 and 55 for Greg Brock. Marshall moves to third, and Bill Madlock bats for the second time in the inning. He opened up this inning with a single. Toward third, Oberkfell will go to second, and the inning is over. But the Dodgers strike for 5, and as we go to the bottom half of inning 2 in game 1, it's a 5-0 Los Angeles lead. Part of the crowd here at the stadium as we go to the bottom half of the second in tonight's first game. The Dodgers have opened up a big 5-0 lead. And that normally is more than enough for their pitching staff, which has a team earned run average of 2.86.
And, of course, that leads the league. And while we're on the birthday kick tonight, Linda Moffat, who works for Turner Cable Sales, celebrating a birthday. She's not telling us which one. A little darling that she is. And also one of our members of the television baseball crew, Stephen Benny, celebrating a birthday. Well, happy felicitations to all.
Bob Horner, Terry Harper, and Ken Obergfell due up here in the bottom half of the second. And we already have a change for the Dodgers. They're indicating, I believe, a different center fielder. Plate umpire Bruce Froming pointing out toward center. Is he indicating a center fielder, or they want that banner taken down out there? That's still Landreau. I guess there were a couple of fans dressed in white who had moved into the batter's background. I thought Froming was pointing out toward center to indicate that Tommy Lasorda had already begun to make his changes, which he loves to do with his roster. Dodgers carrying about 37 players right now, and they will for the remainder of the year. Horner at 285, 23 homers, and 80 RBIs. The 0-1 from Honeycutt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I would say tonight there really isn't any need for anyone to sit in that area. They probably could find other seats.
A couple of seats available tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Honeycutt deals the 1-2 and misses low, 2-2. Same 2 clubs tomorrow night. Fernando Valenzuela, Steve Bedrosian pitching matchup for that one. That takes care of Bob Horner. First strikeout for Rick Honeycutt. 1 down in the bottom of the second. Terry Harper will step in.
And this is how Honeycutt pitches. He doesn't throw the fastball ever over the plate unless he has to. They call him a sinker slider kind of pitcher, and changes speeds and throws a lot of breaking stuff.
Terry Harper has been hot lately. 11 for his last 23. His batting average closing in on 260 again. Honeycutt misses high, ball 1. As good as the Dodgers have played this year, and as hot as they've been since the All-Star break, and as long as the 9-inning game last night took to play, I think they'll let that roll. They will. 1-1. If you were out at the ballpark at 1 o'clock this afternoon, there were Dodgers out here taking extra batting practice. And that's one of the strengths of their ball club. Tommy Lasorda and his coaching staff get a lot of credit for spending the extra hours with their hitters that wish to take some extra batting. I don't think a day goes by, and you know this, John, from traveling in Los Angeles. We get to the ballpark, they're always all out on the field.
Yes.
2.5 hours before game time. They work very hard to achieve their success. 2-1 the count. We're in the bottom of the second. Braves down by a 5-0 count. Bill Madlock will handle this one. 2 down. That'll bring up Ken Obergfell. Obergfell batting .283 with 3 homers, 31 runs driven in. Now I see what the problem was out in center field. As a couple of members of the stadium are out on top of the football bleachers, there's some metal out there, and the sun is glinting off that metal and beaming that shine right into the hitter's eyes. That's what Bruce Froming was holding up proceedings for. It won't last much longer. The sun just happens to be hitting that at the right angle now, so they're going to move some of those metal rows. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Obergfell. Low and inside, 3-0.
You mean the Dodgers are going to see the ball better now?
Apparently so. Well, it's early. Maybe the Braves can rally. They have rallied a little bit in the last few ball games. They did last night, but the bullpen couldn't hold the lead. 3-1 now in Obergefell. And the 3-1's on the way. Hit foul off to the left. That fills the count. Two men out, bases empty. Bottom half of inning 2 of game 1. And the payoff pitch now coming. Line drive left field. Matuszek there to make the grab. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Honeycutt. Nothing doing for the Braves after 2. No change in our score. They move to the top half of the 3rd. It'll be Mike Scioscia, Len Matuszek, and Steve Sachs. Due up against Jeff Dedman. The book on Pascual Perez closed for the night. An inning and 2/3, 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout. And if you need to look at any one area of the Braves ball club this year and say that's why the Braves finished 5th, you can look at an area called starting pitching and look at Craig McMurtry, Pascual Perez, and Len Barker, any of whom could have won 15 ball games for the club this year. Combined, they have won 3 and lost 19. And that record will be 3-20 unless the Braves can rally in this one. Well, here's a guy the Braves haven't gotten out yet in this series. 3 for 3 last night, a base hit his first time up tonight. Nothing in 1. Scioscia has made it into the top 10 in the National League hitting. Ranked 10th coming into tonight's play. One ball, 1 strike.
And by the way, is exactly at 500 now against the Braves this year, 18 for 36.
Here's the 1-1. 2-1. Rolled foul toward the Braves dugout. And the count even, 2-2. Whenever you have a season when the ball club does not perform up to expectations, every time you get a shot of a dugout like that, you wonder how many of those faces you'll see there next year. Because any ball club that plays as disappointingly as the Braves have, they usually, now the phrase is back up the truck, make some changes, try to improve things. And that man hoping he'll have some advice to give on what the ball club needs to improve next year. And hoping that he will be the one running things down in the field. Here's the 2-2. Dedman will run over, but Hubbard's going to get there and throw to Horner. Horner started toward the ball. Dedman went over to cover. But then when Hubbard got to it, Dedman backed up. And Scioscia retired for the first time in the series. Now the left fielder, Len Matuszek, has struck out his first time. Five runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, no hits for Atlanta. We're in the 3rd. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses low, 2-0. 3-0 now on Matuszek. Steve Sachs waiting on deck. On 4 straight, Matuszek down to first. That's walk number 4 off Atlanta pitching. Steve Sachs will step in. He drew a walk his first time. The Dodgers are in a position tonight. If they should sweep this doubleheader, and if San Diego should beat Cincinnati, the Dodgers would have a 9.5 game lead. On the 10th of September, they can start talking magic number pretty soon, if that should happen. Could go the other way, too. If the Braves sweep this twin bill and Cincinnati wins, the Reds would be within 6.5. There's a 3-game difference there. One man out, Matuszek, the runner at first. And the 1-strike delivery grounded sharply by Ramirez, base hit left field. Dodgers are wearing out that path between Oberkfell and Ramirez. That's hit number 7 of the game for Los Angeles. Hit number 2 off Dedman. And the pitcher, Rick Honeycutt, will step in. He drove in the first Dodger run with a single to center field in the second. Infield looking for the bunt here with 1 down. Honeycutt squaring, missed it. 0-1.
Let's speak of your magic numbers. Did a little instant math here. If the Dodgers go 13-14 in their last 27 games, a game under 500, to tie, the Reds would have to go 22-6. So, of course, you can go a lot worse than that, but tough to when you have the pitching the Dodgers have.
Here's the 0-1, bunted back toward the mound. Dedman thinking about third. Will play the safe route to first in time. The runners move up. So they're at second and third now with 2 outs. Mariano Duncan will step in. Duncan's been up in each inning. He walked in the first, delivered a 2-run single in the second. One of the youngest players in Major League Baseball. He's only 22. Another of the many players from that village in the Dominican, San Pedro de Macorís. When he was growing up in the Dominican Republic, he played in a youth league team. And on the team with him, Juan Samuel, now with the Philadelphia Phillies, and Tony Fernandez, now with the Toronto Blue Jays. Those 3 kids grew up together, played together in the same team. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, I never knew that Tony Fernandez was from that town. That's absolutely amazing. Tiny little town like San Pedro de Macorís, and so many great players, and not even good players. And terrific players in the majors.
2 balls and a strike on Mariano Duncan. 2 outs in the inning. Most towns that size, and I think the population of that town is about 40 or 50,000. If they have one player that makes it anywhere, football, basketball, baseball, he's the hero of that city and is forever. In San Pedro, each neighborhood has its own hero. There are so many Major League ball players. 3-1 the count. Dedman in danger of loading him for Ken Landreau. Here's the 3-1 delivery. Line drive, base hit, left center field. 2 more runs will score, and Duncan might get 3 out of this one. He heads for second, rounds second, heads for third. The relay from Rafael Ramirez is overthrown, backed up by Dedman. Duncan has a triple and 2 more RBIs. The Dodgers lead it 7-0. Duncan's 5th triple of the year. He has 4 RBIs in the ball game now and 28 on the year.
This is not to knock the hit by Duncan, because he hits the devil out of this. A fastball over the pipe, and Duncan drills it to left center and hits it so hard that it rolls between Harper and Murphy, goes all the way to the fence. However, if you continue pitching behind like Perez and Dedman, you're going to get hit, and hit hard. And that was a 3-1 pitch, and Dedman just threw the fastball down the gut rather than face Kenny Landreau with the bases loaded, and you just saw the result.
7-0 Los Angeles. Here's Landreau's 1 for 2. Ball 1. And the 1-0. Taken low, 2-0. The count on Landreau. And the 3-0 pitch to him is on the inside corner for a strike, 3-1. Here's where Landreau looks for a pitch. Mariano Duncan, 4 RBIs in the first 3 innings. Bouncer to first. Horner has it. The inning will end. But the Dodgers score 2 more. They get 2 more hits, and they leave a runner at third. Bottom half of the third coming up in game 1. It's been all Dodgers to this point. Bottom half of the third, lower third of the order. Brad comments Bruce Benedict and Jeff Dedman. In the first of this twin bill, the Dodgers have already opened up a 7-zip lead. Getting back to what we were saying a while ago, the end of the Braves season, which will occur October 6th, is going to be a very interesting time of the year for this ball club. See exactly what direction the club wants to take for the future, whether they want to rebuild, do some minor tuning up and hope things will turn around, but some changes definitely have to be made. This ball club has been in a downward trend now the last 3 years. There's a call strike to comments. Bryant at 225, 2 homers, 15 runs driven in. That missed high, 1-1. Again, I want to remind you that Pete Rose going for that history-making hit tonight. And we will be able to go live to Cincinnati for every Pete Rose at bat. And if and when he breaks that record sometime tonight, you'll see it right here. The count 3-1 on comments. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Honeycutt. He walked him. Walk number 2 issued by the left-hander. And Bruce Benedict will step in. Well, I know the ballpark in Cincinnati will be sold out tonight. I wonder how many tickets they could have sold for that game. if they had enough seats?
Boy, a
What would you
whole
think?
lot.
500,000 maybe? I mean, seriously, everybody in Cincinnati wants to see that game.
Absolutely. Just to be there when he breaks the record that people thought could never happen.
Here's Benedict batting .231. No homers and 17 RBIs. Outside, ball 1. Braves still looking for their first hit off Honeycutt.
That noted singer Skip Carey just came in our booth. He'll be releasing an album of some of his favorite songs.
Have you heard that radio commercial he's done?
Mm-hmm. I heard a dog baying at the moon when that was on.
I have a good idea for his first single should he decide to go into a recording career. Johnny One Note would be. Perfect selection.
Gives a new meaning to the word off-key.
2-1 the count on Rick Honeycutt. Or on Bruce Benedict, rather. Rick Honeycutt, of course, on the mound. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Line drive toward left. That'll fall. And there's the first Braves hit of the game. It took a funny bounce out there, but Matuszak stayed with it. And the runners are at first and second.
Here's another football bounce. Takes a left turn, but Matuszak stayed with it. Ron Peronowski has visited the mound. Here we go, the meetings again. I honestly, this is a 7-0 game. And I know the Dodgers want to win, and they're entitled to visit the mound, but last night there were so many meetings. My goodness, what were they talking about? Investments or land down in Florida? Anyway, Peronowski has the word with Honeycutt. Back he goes, and here is Jeff Dedman hit for himself.
Tell you what he may have been telling him. A lot of pitchers, when they get a big lead early, will sometimes change the way they pitch a little bit. You can't change it too much. You can't just start laying the ball in there. You've still got to go with the pitches that make you win ball games up here. And it may have been that Honeycutt and Socha were getting away from the way they normally work together in a ball game and just throwing the ball over. Dedman in a bunt situation. He was hit. He was hit by that pitch. Or was it a foul ball? Foul ball, says Bruce Fromming. Dedman didn't think so.
I thought the same thing you did, and Fromming gesticulated that it was a foul tip. Well, we can't see it because the bat is in the way and Dedman's in the way. You see, Jeff is pointing to his arm, but Bruce Fromming's not having any of it.
So it's called a strike instead of a hit by pitch, and the 0-1 is bunted foul 0-2.
You know, this is really not a bad move by Bobby Wine. As they say in football, you can't get all of it back at once. So Dedman could get the bunt down and get these guys to second and third. Then a base hit by either Ramirez or Hubbard. It'd be a 7-2 game, and at least there's a long way to go in this ball game.
He'll try it again with 2 strikes, and that missed outside, 1-2. 7 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 1 hit Atlanta. Bottom of the 3rd of game 1. Dedman again squaring. 1-2 pitch. He got the bunt down the third base side. Good bunt. Matlock has only 1 play. Sachs takes the throw, and the runners move up. That's the way you like to bunt a ball, when you have runners on at first and second, or just on at second. Make that third baseman commit to the play.
That's a good bunt, especially with 2 strikes. Just puts it right down the third base line, and Matlock has to make the play to first.
So we'll see if the Braves can do anything with those runners now. Second and third with 1 out. Rafael Ramirez, the hitter. He grounded to second his first time. Honeycutt will work from the windup. Nothing at 1. Ramirez going through a very similar season to that of a year ago when he played extremely well until just past the All-Star break. Then began to slump at the plate. Same thing has happened to him this year. He got up close to 290 at one point. Into shallow right field for Mike Marshall. He will make the catch. Tagging at third is Kamensk, and the throw will not get him. Braves are on the board. Holding at second, Bruce Benedict. It's now a 7-1 ball game for Ramirez, RBI number 55. Now Glenn Hubbard will step in. He walked in the first inning. Glenn trying to extend a 5-game hitting streak. Here's the 1-0. That'll be out of play. So it's even now. 1 ball, 1 strike on Glenn Hubbard. Honeycutt going for his 8th win of the year. The Dodgers already have 4 pitchers on their staff with 10 wins or more. One ball, 2 strikes now on Hubbard. Fernando Valenzuela's won 16, Oral Hershiser 14, Jerry Royce has won 12, Bob Welch 10. Fouled away, still 1-2. Rays down by a 6-run count early in game 1. It's 7-1 Los Angeles. 2 men out here in the third. Bruce Benedict down at second gets his lead. And the 1-2 offering. Bounced right back where it came from. And that ends the inning. But the Braves get on the board with a run, 1 hit. They leave 1 at the end of 3 in game 1. It's 7-1 Los Angeles. There are your totals over the first 3 innings. It's been all Dodgers. They lead at 7-1. We go to the 4th, and Mike Marshall, Greg Brock, and Bill Madlock do up against Jeff Dedman in this first game of the Twin Bill. And stepping in to tell you all about it, once again, here's John Sterling.
Thank you, Peter. Hi, Cabbage Patch. Hi, young ladies. We've got 2 for you at the stadium tonight. This is just the beginning. Just the first 3 innings. But we like to give an extra bonus, so normally we play 3 innings and what it normally would take 6 innings. It's 7-1 Los Angeles as we hit the 4th. Mike Marshall has flied to right and walked. He's having a terrific year, and he's going to get better. He's a great young power hitter. He's been injured a lot in his major league career, but having his best year. 279, 20 homers, 67 RBIs. And he misses the Dedman breaking ball, strike 1. Perez started this ball game, went an inning and 2/3. Dedman in relief. Another breaking ball, maybe the knuckle curved by Jeff, and the count 0-2. You got to get the ball down and away from Marshall because he hits everything from the middle of the plate out and hits it hard. If you're going to come inside, you got to get it in on his hands. Another breaking ball is fouled off. The count remains 0-2. Marshall, then Greg Brock, and Bill Madlock here in the top of the fourth. Pedro Guerrero ran into a fence in Los Angeles making a play. Just kind of banged his hand up a bit, and they're going to give him a rest. Oh, that hits him. Dedman did not want to hit him, but he wanted to come in on Marshall. Marshall gives him a look, though. Mike Marshall, big, strong guy, and he gives him a look. But Dedman does not want to hit Mike Marshall with an 0-2 count. Dedman's not that kind of pitcher, but if you're going to pitch Marshall in, you got to get it all the way inside.
A lot of pitchers will come in with a pitch with a count 0-2, and that one just kept riding in on Marshall, hit him on the left arm, just above the elbow, and he's not very happy about it. He glared out at Dedman early on, and then as he walked down toward first, about halfway down the first baseline, he turned and maybe said a word or two to Jeff Dedman.
Braves pitching has just been awful in this very brief series against Los Angeles. That's the third hit batsman. Tom Lasorda raised his hat to the crowd, and they gave him a hand. Great showman. So Marshall at first base, no one out, and the Dodgers go at it again here in the top of the fourth. Here's Greg Brock. I mentioned about Guerrero. They're going to give him a rest as long as they're winning. Let him get himself together. But if this was a tight game, thus far it's far from tight. There's a strike. And you go to the 7th or 8th or 9th inning, you get people on base, and you can see Guerrero in a big spot. Count 0-2 on Brock. Brock has been in a slump. The Dodgers have had a few players kind of slumping a bit after they hit very well over the summer. Brock 4 for his last 26. And he's struck out by Dedman, one away.
This time ahead 0-2, he went right after him with that knuckle curve.
First strikeout for Dedman, and second by Braves pitching. Here's Bill Madlock. The Mad Dog is getting himself together. He had an uncharacteristic bad year for the Pirates. He's been with the Dodgers for 10 games, hitting at over .420 in that time. Fouled off. And dating back to the surge beginning in the Pirates, in his last 23 games, Bill has been hitting .382. And the Dodgers went out and got the perfect player for them. A right-hand hitting third baseman who could really hit hard. Team him up with Guerrero and Brock and Marshall and Landreau. That's a pretty good middle of the order. Breaking ball misses. Pirates got some young players.
And what that also does for the Dodgers, it gives them some maneuverability at first base, because if you get a good left-hand pitcher in there, you can keep Madlock at third, put Enos Cabell in at first, and give Brock a rest against a left-hander.
No, that's really true. 5-4-3 double play. So Dedman gets through the fourth. No runs and no hits. At the end of 3.5, it's 7-1 Los Angeles.
Lots of hustle, that's our repeat. That's why he's eating what the big boys eat. Loved his Wheaties since he was small. Digging big boy, have a ball. Classic hit of crunchy wheat. Pure and simple, not too sweet. Dive right into those Wheaties feet. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
To the bottom of the fourth. Braves are down 7-1 in this first of two. Second game tonight, Bobby Castillo will pitch for Los Angeles, and Craig McMurtry will pitch for the Braves. If you have not heard, many people getting off work just tuning in the game. Rick Mailer had X-rays finally on the little finger on the right hand that's been bothering him, and he did fracture it sliding into a base on the road trip. So he's been scratched. He has a cast on up to his elbow and be out of action for a while. So Craig McMurtry will take his place in the rotation. Here's Murph to lead off the bottom of the fourth. 7-8-0 for Los Angeles. 1-1-0 for the Braves. Rick Honeycutt delivers, and Murph a sky-high fly to right. Mike Marshall makes the catch, one away. Well, here's Bob Warner. Last night, one of the strike games missed, and this first game tonight, the other. And then there are 3 more games in the series. Of course, we have nothing to report on. All the other games will be at night, except for the Twilighter up in Fenway Park. Baltimore and Boston tied at 1 at the end of 5. Some big games on the old schedule tonight as Horner takes a strike. In the American League East, Toronto plays at home against Detroit, and the Blue Jays going to face Jack Morris tonight. Doyle Alexander will go for Toronto. And the Yankees playing in Milwaukee. The Yanks have won 10 straight. Ray Burris will pitch for the Brewers, and Ed Whitson will pitch for the Yanks. That's in the Eastern race, where Toronto leads by a game and a half. Hit hard, but nabbed by Madlock, who throws out Horner 2 away. Over in the West, Kansas City had their 1.5 game lead knocked down to a half last night as California buried Kansas City. Not a bad trade for the Angels. Oh, they had to take a lot of big salaries. They gave up some good youngsters, but the idea is to win a pennant. And John Candelaria now, Pete, 5-1.
Almost had a no-hitter last night. When he get to the 8th inning before giving up a hit?
Now Kansas City leads by a half. Charlie Leibrandt pitches for the Royals, and Kirk McCaskill. That's foul down the Dodger bullpen. Line drive by Terry Harper. Kirk McCaskill will go for the Angels. Leibrandt a left-hander, McCaskill a right-hander. You know, a few years ago, Pete, making ourselves feel old, I broadcast some hockey games involving Kirk McCaskill's dad. Ooh. People are going to think it was in 1938 or so. No, it was in the mid-70s in the World Hockey Association. Ted McCaskill was ending his career as playing for the Los Angeles Sharks. The 1-1. There's a strike. The 1-2. It'll pop up back of the mound. Who wants it? Greg Brock, 2-away. I mean 3-away. Thank you, John, for falling asleep. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We're at the end of 4. 7-1 Los Angeles.
This telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta Braves and is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves and the Turner Broadcasting System is prohibited.
Suppose anyone would want last night's game?
They would need at least 3 cassettes for that one.
Game went on without end. Here's Mike Scioscia to lead off for the Dodgers in the 5th. 7-1 Los Angeles. Murph will catch it in left center field. 1 away.
You know, the Dodgers, last night's game, 3 hours, 46 minutes. On Sunday, the Dodgers played a 14-inning game that went just 2 minutes shy of 5 hours. They had a 3-hour, 15-minute, 9-inning game on Saturday and an extra inning game on Friday that went close to 4 hours. They have put in some time at the ballpark the last 4 days.
Have. And they got into Atlanta after that long Sunday game that they lost in 14, I guess, against the Mets. I got in at 4 in the morning. Swing and a miss by Len Matuzak.
Doubleheader tonight, just what they need. And they have another doubleheader Friday in Cincinnati.
I guess you feel a little bit happy about those things, though, when you're 8 or 9 games up. They're on their way to a pennant. And a great playoff against either the Cards or Mets.
You know what? They could just about wrap it up this week. If they keep winning here in Atlanta, they go to Cincinnati next. And if they beat the Reds, it's all but over.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolute. 1-2 on Matuzak. We're in the top of the 5th. The big game in baseball tonight will be at Shea Stadium in New York. The Cardinals and Mets in a flat-footed tie for the Eastern lead. 27 to go. 2-2 on Matuzak. Danny Cox pitches for the Cardinals tonight. Ron Darling for the Mets. And I think tomorrow night it's Dwight Gooden and John Tudor. And the knuckle curve strikes out Matuzak. That's Jeff's second strikeout. Two-way here, Steve Sachs. Ernie and the old warbler will be over in the bottom half of the inning. We'll see you here for the second half of the nightcap. By the way, don't use that word in front of Skip. Nightcap, okay? Sachs fouls the pitch off, strike 1. Time to collect our little belongings here. Rock, the ball of twine, and those things. 1-1 on Sachs. That's fouled off. And the count 1-2. Pascual Perez started for the Braves and just did not have it. He got belted for 5 runs in the second inning and taken out before the inning was over. Dedman gave up 2 in the third. 7-1 Los Angeles, top of the 5th, first game. And 2-2. Sachs still wants to be the leadoff man. He filled the job very admirably for the Dodgers for a couple of years. He was in a frightful slump this year. Tom Minnesota put him down to the 8th spot, and he's really responded. Average up to 270. That just missed. Count goes full 3-2.
That's not easy to do either, because you hit that number 8 spot. A lot of times you don't see many good pitches with the pitcher hitting behind you all the time.
3-2, 2 outs. And Ken Oberfield will make the play. And the Dodgers retired 1-2-3. At the end of 4.5, 7-1 Los Angeles.
We go to the bottom of the 5th. Ernie Johnson, Skip Carey with you now. They told you the truth. It's Dodgers 7, Braves 1. And Ken Oberkfell will lead things off. Rick Camp begins to throw in the Atlanta bullpen. If the Braves get anything going, they'll pinch hit for Jeff Dedman. Honey cut to Oberkfell, who lined to left his first time. 0-1. corks one to left again. It's hooking away, but Matuzak makes a good catch. Let's see if he's all right. He hit that wall pretty good out there. Nice play, 1 out.
We have a mat out there, but he missed it. Let's see. Just partially touched it. He's okay.
Here's Brad Kamensk, who walked and scored the Atlanta run on a Ramirez sacrifice fly in the 3rd. Well, let's see. Dodgers are on radio only tonight, so I guess some folks in Los Angeles are watching our telecast. And to them we say, just kidding. You're leading 7-1. And that'll be the 2nd out here in the bottom of the 5th. Comments. Pops to Brock.
Edna Denhard, he didn't mean that for you.
Who?
That's Lois's mother, lives out there in California.
Absolutely not. No. Seven, 8-0 for the Dodgers and 1-1-0 for the Braves. Paul Runge has grabbed a bat and would pinch hit next if Benedict reaches.
I think the California fans would agree that if they were in our spot, they would be frustrated too.
I think so. That's caught in the air by Madlock, and the inning is over. And we've completed 5, and the Dodgers still lead the Bravos 7-0. We go to the 6th inning, and Rick Honeycutt will lead it off against Jeff Dedman, who is on in relief of Pascual Perez, who had another, well, they know the word for it, but lousy. He had a terrible outing, lasting an inning and 2/3, walking 3 and giving up 5 hits, 5 runs. Dodgers here again tomorrow night at 7:35, or we'll televise it for you at 7:35. Same way on Thursday and Friday, 5:05 Eastern Time for the Giants game on Saturday. And 2:05 Sunday for the Giants. Honeycutt to Hubbard, 1 out. So 1 is down in the 6th, and Mariano Duncan will bat. He's had a career in this game. A walk, a 2-run single, and a 2-run triple. And don't forget, when Pete Rose bats in Cincinnati, we'll be sending it there for you live to see history in the making, perhaps. Boy, I bet he'll be glad when this is over.
Yes, he will.
He's good with the press, but we have to have driven him absolutely bonkers by now.
Not everybody can handle it. And I think he's stayed right out front, perhaps more than anyone else.
That's the kind of guy he is.
Yes.
Well, we're at least sure that Duncan won't drive in 2 runs on this at bat. For there's nobody on and 1 up. Oberkfell will have room. 2 out. Here's Kenny Landreau, 1 for 2 with a walk. I'll check it, 1 out of 3 and a run scored. He hasn't walked. One ball, no strikes. After 7, the Orioles and Red Sox 1-1. That game in Cincinnati will be held up till 7:50, we are now informed, because of the press of people trying to get in Riverfront Stadium.
Yeah, it'll probably be a standing room only. In fact, all that we understand now, all the standing room have been sold. I hope
Mrs. Schott found room for her dog.
Yes.
Ballpark.
He takes 3 seats.
Takes as many as he wants.
What's he big? St. Bernard.
3-1. Between games of our doubleheader, John Fricke will have the Superstation Sports Report for you. The top of the 6th in this game is now history. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Dedman is due up first. Could well see a pinch hitter for him. Then Ramirez. Then Hubbard. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Paul Runge will pinch hit for Jeff Dedman to lead things off. Dedman went 3 1/3, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, a couple of strikeouts. He walked a batter. 7-1 Los Angeles. They got 5 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, and have been laughing their way through this one, to be honest with you. McMurtry and Castillo in the 2nd game. Well hit by Runge into the alley in left center. He's going to try for 2, and he's going to make it. And I'm surprised by a couple of things. Number one, I'm surprised he swung with his team down 6 runs. And number 2, I'm surprised he tried for 2, but both worked out very nicely.
Bobby Wine probably just said, let's go, guys. Let's play like it's nothing. No take sign. Hit away and see if something can happen. I was a little surprised that he rounded first and headed for 2nd, but he made it easily.
Matuzak made a terrible throw. In fairness to him, he's primarily a first baseman.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Scouting report.
Here's Rafi upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. He's bounced to 2nd. He drove in a run with a sacrifice fly. It was his 55th of the year. His major league high, set a couple of years ago, was 58. A ball and a strike, the count. Sharply hit. Brock's got it. He'll take it himself. You admire Ramirez for that. He took a shot at right field trying to get the base hit, but failing that, at least getting the runner to 3rd base. And in a 7-1 ball game, not everybody would do that. Here's Hubbard with a chance at an RBI because of his teammates' unselfishness. Rick Camp, by the way, will be the next Atlanta pitcher. Glenn has walked and tapped to the mound. Infield back, of course, for Los Angeles, willing to concede a run for an out. Boy, Tom Lasorda would love to get a complete game here out of Honeycutt. He doesn't, realistically, you don't expect Castillo to pitch one because he's primarily a relief pitcher. That's not going to score any run, folks. 2 out. So it's all up to Dale Murphy, who's hit into a double play and flied to short right. Much of the other baseball about to get started, including that Cardinal-Mets game, will keep you closely apprised of what's going on there. We got a busy night in front of us, in fact, with Rose and that and the American League pennant races. WTBS will let you know what's happening where in baseball tonight. A strike to Murph, 0-1. Bottom of the 6th. Los Angeles leads it 7-1. Pops away from Socha, but not far enough for Runge to go anywhere. A ball and a strike. There's Paul leading from third. Bobby Dews in the background there. Came inside on him, but missed with a breaking ball. It's 2-1. Honeycutt doesn't overpower you. He moves the ball around. He's, to use the baseball cliche, a crafty left-hander.
That's good, Skip.
Thank you. He got away with a pitch there, a high breaking ball. Murphy upset with himself. He should have, he feels, nailed that. He's also a stocky port-sider, is Honeycutt.
Not too stocky.
Well, not compared to some people we know.
Now, if you were pitching lefty, you would be a stocky port-sider.
That'd be a great deal more than that. High with a fastball. He's run it full, 3-2. If I were pitching anyway, the game would be called due to laughter. He missed with a breaking ball, and Horner bats, and a home run would get Atlanta back into it a little bit. Second walk for Honeycutt. He struck out one. Come to think of it, I mentioned that they're holding the game up in Cincinnati to let fans in to watch Pete Rose. If I were to suddenly pitch, they'd have to hold up the game to let the fans out. That's 3 walks for Honeycutt, by the way. I think I said 2. I lied. So Horner bats. Runge at third, Murphy at first. 2 out. 3 out. Brock at the 15, and the inning is over. 1 hit, no runs. The Braves leave 2, and we've played 6. Rick Camp will come on to work. It's a 7-1 game. We go to the 7th inning. Rick Camp on to pitch. You see his stance. And he'll face Marshall, Brock, and Madlock. And I hope he doesn't zip one inside to Mr. Marshall, because I think he's had enough. He's been hit by a pitch. He was knocked off the plate several times by Perez. He was hit by a pitch by Jeff Dedman. He's lined to right, walked, and been hit. High and inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Curveball. Outside, it's 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Threw the fastball by him. It's 2-1. Dodgers have 8 hits. Braves have 2. They bring out the worst in us. Sharply hit. Oberkfell. Good play to his left. There's the first out of the Dodgers 7th. And Greg Brock is the batter. 1 for 3, a 2-run second inning single. Benedict with the sign. And Camp deals. Curveball. 0-1. Rick uses that curveball an awful lot now. That's a pitch he's just learned in the last year and a half or so. I never have figured out what happened to that great sinking fastball he had as a Braves reliever in the late 70s. I'm sure he'd like to know, too. That's an easy play. 2 down.
He still throws that sinker, but doesn't have quite the bite it used to. It's kind of a 2-pitch pitcher. Once in a while he'll have a good one, but that one year, a couple of years when he was relieving, every ball was hit on the ground.
Ralph Bryant will come on and pinch hit here. He's pinch hitting for Bill Madlock. Not because they think he's a better hitter, I'm sure, than Madlock. Another Georgia native. He's from Fort Gaines. Went to Lee County High School. And Abraham Baldwin Junior College in Tipton, GA. 0-1 the count to him. 2 out, nobody on. He really uppercutted that ball.
I think the Dodgers bring up more players than any other major league team at the end of the season, even though they're in first place. And there'll be some games they can't play in. But I think it's more or less their philosophy. Give them a taste of it and get them a little excited for the following years.
And also there are games like last night where they make use of an awful lot of those people just to play an inning of defense in the outfield, a pinch run. Well, like Bob Baylor is warming up. He'll enter the game to play third, and he'll do so right now as Bryant goes down swinging. So Camp gets him 1, 2, 3 in the 7th. We go to the bottom half. It's 7-1 Los Angeles. Play third base. And Terry Harper will lead off the Atlanta half of the 7th inning. And as he does, to bring you the rest of the way on Braves TV in Game 1, here again, Ernie Johnson.
Okay, Skip. Harper walks to the plate. He'll be followed by Oberkfell. Honeycutt's got a good one going. He's pitched poorly of late, but not tonight. He's allowed only 2 hits. Harper 0 for 2. We've got another game to follow. We'll be away from you, 25, 30 minutes in between games. First pitch. High, 1-0. Garber starts to loosen up. One 0. 2-0. Braves need base runners and then a long ball. The Dodgers got 5 in the 2nd. That's what's made it so lopsided. 2-1. Well hit, but it's going to be caught. Coming over Matusek. Now Ken Oberkfell, who's lined to left and foul to left. Commons comes to the on-deck circle. Just about everybody real happy for Pete Rose. He's done a lot for the game of baseball. And maybe he'll do it right tonight in his first game since getting back to Cincinnati. Rose has worked hard for it, and I think most people appreciate that. He was not a guy with all the ability in the world when he started. He made himself a good player. Boy, if he gets it, I don't know how long it's going to take. The pitcher might as well go sit down for a while. He had a 4-minute standing ovation in Chicago by the Cub fans when he tied it. What will happen tonight? Rose is the type of guy that they wanted to give him a parade when he came back from Chicago. He said, I don't want a parade. He said, if we win the World Series, then I want a parade, and I want to ride in the first car. That's Pete Rose. 1-2. That's towards Sachs. 2 away. They've already renamed the street in front of the stadium, in front of Riverfront, after Pete Rose. And everything's turning out well for him. He has a bonus coming because of an attendance clause. They're 400,000 ahead of last year in attendance. And on top of that, he's going to get a lot of votes for Manager of the Year. Outside of that, he's had a very quiet summer. Strike on the outside corner. Kamensk is walked and popped to first. One ball, one strike. Benedict on deck. Curve fouled away. And we remind you that when Rose comes to bat, we're going to go to Cincinnati, pick up Ken Wilson and Joe Morgan. They're the television broadcasters. Fouled away. And a nice grab.
Of course, that means that in one game we'll have a day of wine and roses.
Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. And a 1-2. Fouled away. Last night a very small crowd, a shade over 3,000, but we might have 10,000 here tonight. Might be a little generous. A lot of people from Vero Beach have come up. That's where the Dodgers train. And that's a strikeout. 1, 2, 3. We go to the 8th, 7-1 Dodgers.
Subscribe today to Braves Banner and you'll get the next 11 big issues for the super low price of $8.95. That's right, just $8.95 guarantees you the final 2 issues this year and a full season of exciting Braves action in 1986. To subscribe, please send $8.95 to Braves Banner, Post Office Box 89162, Atlanta, Georgia, 30312.
Scioscia will lead it off. We go to the 8th inning. They're underway at New York, and Tommy Herr homered in the first inning. His 5th. It's 1-0 Cardinals over the Mets. They're still batting. Scioscia 1 for 3. Camp in his 2nd inning delivers outside. Scioscia's a graduate of Springfield High School, Springfield, Pennsylvania. Played everything, football, baseball, and basketball. Pitch's high was an 83 that he had the rotator cuff injury. He's recovered nicely. That rotator cuff is a scary word in baseball. That is ball 4. First walk-off Kemp. Now Matusek, who's been up 3 times. He's struck out twice and walked once. Matusek was very highly thought of by the Phillies. And they felt they couldn't wait any longer and dealt him. He can play first base for you, too. Outside, 1-0. Red Sox and Orioles, 1-1 in the 8th. That's the first of 2 at Fenway Park. Well, the Red Sox got to do some shuffling in the offseason, too. Runner going. Going to be safe. He might have been out if Ramirez held it. I think that was a delayed steal by Socha. And what they do is wait for the ball to almost get to the plate, break, and then have to have the catcher hit a moving target down there.
I think he's not real fast. Maybe it looked delayed. I don't know that it was, but Kemp wasn't paying any attention to him at all. Anyway, he's got a stolen base. His second.
I agree. I don't think it was a delay looking back. Ramirez holds it. He might have been out. Uh-oh, third base. Nothing. That is an out at third for sure if Ramirez comes up with the ball. Socha, suicide running to third, and the Malfitano's talking to it and said, "You're the luckiest guy in town." He would have been out easily.
I don't think he screened him. I just think Rafi was so intent on turning the play to third, he brought his head up too soon, and it pays off for the Dodgers. He's running around out there like Vince Coleman in slow motion.
Socha now has 3 stolen bases for the year. He's been caught twice. Charged Ramirez with an error. Here's Sachs, who usually hits the ball somewhere. This time he is at the short. Only one. Sachs can run. He has 24 stolen bases. Beats the toss. Give him an RBI and make it 8.
Rafi had a little trouble unloading here, too. Right there, see, he has trouble getting it out of his glove, but I don't think it made any difference the way Sachs can run. Boy, those Dodgers play hard all the time, even in this kind of game with another game to go, and that's maybe why they're so far ahead in this division.
Honeycutt the batter. He's dancing out there. He's got a 7-run lead in the top of the 8th, bunting and fouling.
Somebody asked me a good question in the press box before. I didn't have and don't have the answer, but maybe you do. Pete Rose is going to break Ty Cobb's record. Whose record did Ty Cobb break for hits? Was it Speaker or
I don't know.
Keeler or Weiner or
someone who had around 3,000 hits probably. He just went by
Wagner?
everybody.
Honus Wagner, maybe?
Yeah.
How about somebody in the crew down there, producer or somebody has a record book and can look it up.
And we'll know before this inning is over. Swinging, a little pop that's going to be off the glove of Ramirez. Murphy fielded the ball, then held on. He faked the bunt and then popped it in short left. Ramirez almost caught it.
He showed the bunt, then swung away and just got enough of it. Mr. Honeycutt is having himself a night. And it's a hit, of course.
Now, Duncan, the one that surprised me that we were talking about one night was who's third in hits, and you never think of Hank Aaron.
Well, that's right.
He's third in hits. Besides hitting the home run, 755.
In a way, and I hope people understand the way I mean, in a way, it's too bad that he hit that many home runs because he was such a good ball player, good defensive player, good arm, good speed, knew how to play, and all that. For fans who really didn't see him play much, all they know about is his home run prowess.
He had every facet of the game down cold. And you didn't know whether he went 4 for 4 or 0 for 4. He was so quiet about it. Oh, 2.
Well, our personnel director, Big Bill Shaw, out here at the ballpark tonight. He's still afraid to play us in golf, huh?
It was a no-show one day.
Yeah, we were all ready to go.
Yeah, we were ready to start slicing away. 0-2. Duncan's had a good night. He's knocked in 4 runs. He's walked and fouled a third. Runners first and second. That's in the gap. Sack scores. Honeycutt is to third. And Duncan's done it again. That's 5 RBIs for the young man. 9-1.
He's trying to catch Pete Rose and pass him tonight. First time he's had 5 RBIs in a major league game. He only had 24 coming into this one. Hit the daylights out of it.
Now Landreau with runners first and third. Still only 1 out. 9-1. Braves pitching staff tied for last with the Chicago Cubs coming in with an ERA 3.95. Looks like they're going to have last place to themselves tonight. Probably put them over 4 in the ERA department. 10 hits, 9 runs. Bounce to Horner. He had a look at home and then took the sure out. Horner could have gotten, I believe, Honeycutt. Decided against it. It's 10. Duncan's now at second.
I don't know if he never knew he was coming or what, but I think he had a shot at him too.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Honeycutt did run.
That's the old first and third 1-out run to keep out of the double play, and he did what the coach told him to do. Down low.
But it was such a slow tap.
I know it.
No way to.
Horner comes home. He's got him. It's Schuler starting to throw in the Braves bullpen. Yes, you bring out a good point. An experienced runner, guy at third, probably wouldn't have come home on that. Especially if it was a close game, he would have said, well, that they can't make a double play, but pitchers get there so seldom.
Yeah. Well, that's 2 plays in this inning where it appears to us the Dodgers did the wrong thing. They both worked out fine. So what do we know?
Came out smelling like a rose. How's that?
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
It's good today, isn't it? Driven all right, but comments. Let's watch him. He's got it. Just got it. For out number 3. Marshall drove it deep. They come up with 3 more. 10-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Couple of changes for the Dodgers. Gonzalez is in right field. Stubbs is at first. So with another game to go and a 10-1 lead, Lasorda kind of cleaning his bench. Benedict will lead it off for the Braves. Cerrone is a bat. He will hit for Camp. Dave Schuler will be the next pitcher. They're underway at Cincinnati, the Padres and the Reds. Let's see, we may have a change now. Landreau was in center field. Reggie Williams is now in center. Announcement by Marshall Mann. Honeycutt's allowed 1 run on 2 hits. The run came in the 3rd inning. Sacrifice fly by Ramirez got it in. That is foul. Just missed it. Benedict had a single in that 3rd inning, an inning in which the Braves got their only run. His batting average now up to 234. Doesn't sound like too much, but it is when it was down around 190 and 200 for a long time. He has played an awful lot more under Bobby Wine. Benedict. Waiting on the 0-1. Driven foul down the left side, right into the picnic area. Rick Cerrone on deck. Tomorrow night, 7:35, also on Thursday. After the Dodgers leave, San Francisco visits Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then Houston for 2 and Cincinnati for 2 before another road trip. I don't think Rose will wait till he comes to Atlanta to get that hit. And I'm going to get his autograph when he comes down. Inside.
Where do we go next?
We go to San Diego on one of those San Diego, then back to Cincinnati.
Well, that's you're going to go. That's the way to do it. Go there first. And
Of course, we fly Delta Charter. We've had a good summer. Benedict fouled it right off his foot, 2-2.
Padres got 2 in the first at Cincinnati.
Wonder what spot in the order Rose is batting. Third?
Second or third.
Second.
So
Foul again.
hitting second tonight, so we'll be headed there any time.
The ball boy made a few friends. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Ernie, let's interrupt and go to Cincinnati. Lamar Hoyt pitching to Pete Rose.
Live at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium, Pete Rose batting for the first time in the game. We are going to go there live with WLWT announcers Ken Wilson and Joe Morgan.
Lamar Hoyt goes away from his strength. He comes inside on Pete Rose instead of pitching him away, which is the way he likes to pitch most hitters.
The 1-strike pitch, and it's 1-1 on Rose. Standing room only here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. 2-1.
That's his favorite pitch right there, changeup, going on the outside part of the plate.
Straight away. 1 out, nobody on first inning. The 2-1 pitch, 3-1. Rose hitting .267 this year, but .300 lifetime. He hits the 3-1 pitch in the air, and Templeton wants it. And that's the second out. Rose in his first at bat. Pops out to short.
And you have just been watching WLWT live from Riverfront Stadium, where Pete Rose has popped out in his first at bat. We will go back there live periodically through the evening as Rose goes for number 4192. Let's go back out to Fulton County Stadium with Skip Carey and Ernie
Rose
Jones.
is 0 for 1, as you saw. Ramirez is at the plate. In this inning, Benedict flied to center. Cerrone grounded to short, and Raffi singles to left. Ramirez now 1 for 3 with a sac fly RBI. Brings on Glenn Hubbard. That's only the 3rd hit off Rick Honeycutt. Hubbard is walked, grounded out, and popped to first. Outside, 1-0. A little bit high, 2-0. Andre Thomas loosened up in the Braves bullpen, jogging in. He might play short. Outs, a runner at first, not being held. 3-1. And the 3-1 popped up. I don't know if it'll stay in for Socia. It will. That's it for the Braves. Bottom of the 8th. We go to the 9th. Down by 9. There's a new shortstop, Andres Thomas, just called up by Atlanta. From New York, we've got a flash. Howard Johnson, grand slam for New York in the first inning. New York 5, St. Louis 1 as they go to the second. Sure, the new pitcher.
That may be true, but who's batting?
I think it's Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, yeah.
He took over in right. Jose Gonzalez.
I thought they swapped him straight up, but they didn't.
He's batting in Brock's spot. Baylor's on deck. He's hitting in Madlock's spot. Here's a 1-0. Good changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Schuler's second call up from Richmond. Popped up, but it's going to be over first, I believe. Let's watch. And it is. What a catch. Nothing to it. Sign him up. One ball, 2 strikes. San Diego leads the Reds 2-0 as they go to the second. Here's a 1-2. 2-2. Good fastball, strikeout. Camp went 2 innings, allowed 2 hits and 3 runs. Schuler working in his first inning. Now Bob Baylor up for the first time. 1-0. Harper. 2 away. A little soft line drive by Baylor. Well, let's see. This is not Mike Socia.
It's Gilberto Reyes. It's going to pinch it and catch the ninth. Welcome to Vero, eh?
Yes. This is Reyes. R-E-Y-E-S. Batting for Socia. Little pop on a check swing. Benedict.
Hit the screen first.
He played to Karam, and Bruce Fleming right on top of it. No catch.
To be honest with you, Bruce Fleming's just soon hadn't hit the screen himself. He's been out there a long time.
All I know is he looked up when we were in the radio booth and then looked at his watch.
He shook his head. It is hot out there.
He's my umpire when we make our next movie. Bruce Fleming.
Next one will be for MGM, you know.
Yes. He gets the lead. The umpire department.
We get the leads. That's what was wrong with the last one.
0-2. Here's the 0-2. Let up, got him. Shula looked good. 2 strikeouts of the 3 batters he faced. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Still a big mountain to climb. All right, who is that?
It's Peterson, the new left fielder, the kid out of USC. Reyes will catch. There he is. And Murphy will hit. And you will broadcast.
Peterson, a Scooter Svensk, is out there, but his number and his name is not on the roster sheet. Reyes, I believe that's how you pronounce it, is our catcher. Murphy will hit it up. Everybody that came plays. Another game to follow, folks. Probably be a half hour in between games total. John Fricke's up next with the sports report in between games.
This is 22 starts for Honeycutt, and he seeks his first complete game.
Base hit. Dale Murphy. Just out of the reach of Duncan. Their outfield is Peterson, Williams, and Gonzalez. Infield is Baylor, Duncan, Sachs, and Stubbs. Reyes catching Rick Honeycutt. Here's the captain looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3. There's a double play ball to third. They turn it. They call it around the horn, started by Baylor. Terry Harper, the batter. He is 0 for 3. Dodgers have 10 runs on 10 hits. Talk about making them count. Atlanta 1 run on only 4 hits. One and 0. If he completes a game, and he should, Honeycutt will have had his first complete game since July of last year.
In St. Louis, July 21st.
The 1-1 hit foul. Two away, bottom Bottom of the ninth. Dodgers up by 9 big runs. And the 1-2. That's up the middle. Base hit, Terry Harper. 2 hits in the inning. But the old saddlebred has been stolen. Harper's at first. Oberkfell the batter. He is 0 for 3. Bounces away, but Harper not taking any chances. His run means nothing. Two away, runner first. And the 1-0. Strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the pitch to the mound. It's going to be over right now. Honeycutt goes 9. Here comes Tom Lasorda running out. The Dodgers have done it again to the Braves. In the first of 2, it's 10-1. Skip has the total.
Okay, Ernie, for the Dodgers, 10 runs, 10 hits, no errors. They left 5. For the Braves, 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error. They left 5. Rick Honeycutt, the winner. He is 8-12 for the year. Pascual Perez, the loser. He's 1-10. The game-winning RBI goes to Honeycutt as well. His first of the year. His first shutout of the year. The Dodgers are now 10-3 against the Braves in '85, and they have won 22 of the last 33 meetings between these two teams.
Final score once again, Dodgers 10, Braves 1. That is the first of 2. We've got another game coming up in about a half hour. We ask you to stay tuned to WTBS. John Fricke's coming along with the Sports Report.